we're here at the CCA Workbench for Rigs and Techniques.
Yes, we are.
It's nice to be here, boys.
Ladies' night.
It's ladies' night, and we're feeling all right. Okay, before we get to the fighting techniques, I just want to tell you guys, the ladies out
It's
there.
a hair trick.
It's a hair trick. So I have my fish bites buff here, and I normally have two. I wear one on my neck. I put it on my wrist, and then I put it on my neck. And then when we run, so your hair doesn't get tangled, I just simply put it up like this, and it becomes a headband. And then when we're really running, I pull it back, and my hair is completely covered.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a cool trick.
Yeah, it's a cool trick. I use it all the
You
time.
remember when you used to be able to do that, Ray?
Yes.
I can't remember back that far.
I got
He still does.
The one hair
He
I
used to
have looked like a
sunburn.
blue quail sticking out of the top of my head. But let's get into
A
this
blue
stuff.
Let's get into
Quail.
this stuff.
Well,
We got a lot of
first off, we're going to talk about, one of the perceived weaknesses that women have, which I'm not I don't really think there is one, but is that they have a little lack of upper body strength. And I'm familiar with that myself because I don't work out a whole lot, as you can tell. I caught a big dolphin the other day. I never even took the rod out of the rod holder. I cranked him in on a bent butt. It was a big fish. But the perceived weakness is that that they can't lift a lot. Which, what you do in that situation is you try to make sure you have a really good belt and a good shoulder harness on board at all times. And the belt can either be a little belt like this that. Got to be fully adjustable, and I would suggest that you go ahead and adjust it beforehand, before you get a bite.
Right.
Make sure you put it on and get it whoever you want it on and get it done beforehand. I like belts with a gimbal in it because most of my rods have gimbals on the bottom that'll fit into that slot right there, and it keeps the rod from twisting, and that's especially helpful for people who don't have a lot of strength.
Right.
The rod wants to twist when the fish goes from side to side, and that gimbal really helps a lot. Also, if you're fishing for a great big fish and you're, catching big tunas especially, or even you're going to think you're going to catch a marlin that's going to be on the line for a long time, you're going to want shoulder harness in association with a thigh harness. But
why don't you tell them about the cushion?
Yeah,
Brie?
so if you have multiple anglers on the boat, this belt's great. But if it's set up for one person and you're, rushing to get the fish, then cushiots are great. They come in all models, all sizes. You can put it on the end here. This protects your boat, your cushions from the gimbal from getting scratched or poked or whatever. So these are great. I love them. It's my favorite.
Well,
All right, let's slide out
that.
here and show everybody how this works, Brie.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to stand over here out of the way.
I'm ready to get clipped in.
I'll become the fish. Make sure, first of all, you always get that into the
Get your gimbal onto the little
screw
doodad there.
And you clip in.
You clip in from the inside out. Always from the inside out.
All right.
And what you're trying to do when you're getting this set up is you want this reel to be fairly close to her body. You don't want it to be too far out, and you don't want it to be so close that she can't reel.
Move.
It has to be out here where she can get her hand on the reel, and she's always going to have one hand at least on this on the reel in case something happens on the other end here. If you have a failure of your tackle and this thing comes swinging back.
It'll come flying up and hit her right there. So
So
if you want to
you
get
always-
rid of her, don't tell her to put her hand on there
Yeah, always
Right.
keep one hand right here.
Or wear a hat.
and cut the line.
And what you have to remember too is when you're doing this is that you're not a winch, you are a line retriever, and you have to really learn how to use your drag to fight the fish. And you're the one who controls all the pressure. You're the one who, if it's getting real hard for you, you can back off the drag a little bit. But you always have to remember that the more drag that you can put on the fish, the shorter this fight is going to be, because speed doesn't kill, drag kills.
Right.
Drag kills
Turn
big
sideways a
fish.
little,
And
just
when you
so
can
they can
put
see how your
when you
back
can
is
put
straight.
all the drag that your tackle can withstand, that's when you're gonna win. And girls can do it, guys can do it. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Look,
game
she is
fighting,
putting
yeah.
a lot of drag on this thing right now and not putting a lot of effort. And that's
Right.
what you
You're
want to
using your
do.
body
You
weight.
want to maximize your effort and get a lot of drag on that other fish without
Right.
hurting yourself. Because when you hurt yourself,
Let's go to
you know,
another region.
you're not
Sorry.
gonna-
Go to
We're
another
out of time.
region.
you're not going to do good when the next fish
All
gets
right.
on.
Good job, guys.